All right, I'm Katona here with FM102.1. I've got Andrew McMahon. He's here with Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. On our stage, you use Cellular Connection stage with Lennon Kugels and FM102.1. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you're no stranger to Summerfest.
No.
And Milwaukee is no stranger to you.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of people excited to see you.
I'm so pumped. Like, this is, honestly, and I don't say this to everyone, it's like one of my favorite gigs of the year is Summerfest. I think in the last 8 years, I think we've done it 6. So
yes.
Yeah, so I try and always come back if I can.
A lot of people have some awesome Summerfest memories of your shows, years that you, as a complete torrential downpour, and you're still playing. That was an awesome concert.
Yep.
So a lot of people have special memories of you coming to Summerfest. What's your favorite Summerfest memory, or your favorite thing to do when you're down here?
I mean, I have a couple that certainly I think I want to say it was probably summer 2006. That crazy hailstorm.
Yes.
You know, that was really. I mean, that was my first summer back, as I recall, like back touring after being sick, and so there was just such like a. I mean, even in the daytime, there was this electricity because you could tell people were really excited that I was healthy and back, which was obviously. You know, very sweet and humbling, and then we had this incredible signing where it was just hailing, and I was like, I'm gonna hang with these guys, we're gonna do it. And I remember, at least, you know, in all these memories, they get pumped up over time, but my memory of that night is that after that crazy rain, pretty much everybody left the Summerfest grounds other than our fans.
Nope. I was just gonna say that you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
they would not leave.
Yeah, and all the other bands canceled, and
you
everybody
pushed
left.
through it.
And we stayed put, and like probably I don't know how long before the set, but this skies cleared. It turned into a beautiful night, and like there was a crowd of like 10,000 people. Just, I mean, it was magical. I had another night here, I think it was a couple years ago, where it was just we had like these little bikes, you know, that we would like ride around, and sort of I remember just kind of finishing the show and riding my bike out into the front of the stage and watching and like when everybody had left and the grounds were empty and just kind of having this like kind of pinch yourself moment. You're like, wow, this is like what I do for a living. Like watching these guys break down the stage and pack the trucks and the buses, and just like, you know, one of those moments where you know, I just thought I'm really lucky to do this.
Yeah. I think that's why you resonate with so many people, because like that concert, it was pouring rain and you would not stop signing stuff. You were there for everybody. I think that's why a lot of people are like, every project you do, they want to check it out, from something corporate to in the wilderness.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's nice to say. It's a really good job, so I'm doing everything I can to keep it.
So is little Cecilia and Kelly, are they on the tour? Is that changed things?
No, they usually are. They actually flew out this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. Yeah, if I go anywhere for like longer than a week, generally speaking, and I have the bus, then I'll hop on the bus. We'll carve out a little nest in the back lounge, and that will be where we are. So yeah, they travel with me as much as they can, and the difference in it just depends, is the wild card of like whether or not she decides she wants to sleep that night.
Yeah, right.
So that puts a little bit of like, okay, like how do I save my voice and make sure, you know, where it used to be like
used to party like 80 metals hair bands, right?
Yeah,
that was the vibe in here before Cecilia. Def Leppard.
I don't know if it was before Cecilia. I mean, well before Cecilia, but there were days. But yeah, so it's amazing though to have have home with you on the road.
Absolutely.
It makes it so when you're gone so often, you're not missing as much.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you think Jack in the Wilderness differs from your other departures, Jack's Mannequin, something corporate, solo work? Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting. For me, it's like, not to say it's all the same, but in some respect, it is. You know, I since I was a kid, even before something corporate, you know, I would write songs and I'd find a way to play them, and that's really the thing. What drives all of this for me is the motivation to write a good song and find a way to share it with people. And in that sense, nothing's changed.
Right.
Certainly, I think project to project, they all, like the albums and the projects as a whole, they represent these periods of time in my life, and the records themselves are kind of like the chapters out of that story, you know, and in that sense, I look at the Wilderness, and it's this, you know, for me, it's this moment of like kind of trying to get both feet on the ground and I asked myself a lot of questions about like how can I find a way to do this till the day I die, you know, and in some ways, you know, I've always thought that's going to be the deal, but you start realizing as time moves along, like it's not like you have to be strategic and you have to be smart and you have to live in a way that it is possible to sustain, you know, and I really I dug deep and found, you know, got myself back home, like around my friends and tried to really live a life that I could write about and you know, obviously, you know, my wife getting pregnant, that was a huge moment, and like sort of this like, okay, life is about to change, and so for me, I think the biggest difference is, you know, the subject matter, like it was all about this crazy moment of trying to like, how do you start over in the middle of a career and in the middle of a life and then bring a new person into the world, and those are the questions I was asking, and certainly sonically, like there's a lot of experimenting on this record with synths and with programming and trying to balance that against organic instruments, you know. So there's, you know, they have their differences that exist for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's everybody in Milwaukee has obviously responded well. Everybody everywhere, because this is huge. Cecilia and the Satellite's been huge for you, so we couldn't be happier to have you here again, and looking forward to the show.
Well, you guys are a big part of why this record